Testing, testing. 1, 2, testing, testing. Let's see how our sound is. Sounds pretty good. Picture looks pretty clear. Let's see how we look like from the other side of things. We're good to go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am, and thank you so much for joining me for this late night show. Late for those people who are in the UK. It's 5 to 12, and I'm glad you can hear me loud and clear. People are in the room. No stalling. I'm going to get straight into it. So let's see who we've got in the room. First and foremost, Terence Talbot says, yo. Andy Wilkinson says, hey, guys. Hey, Andy. Hey, Terence. The Boxing Insight. Good to see you in here. Hi, Cam. Alan Hurst, Spence versus Algeria. Good fight. Yes, it is a good fight indeed. I think it's a good fight. It's been made. Algeria is not known as the biggest puncher, but you know, he's a, I don't know if you want to call him a gatekeeper, but he certainly is a, you've got some idea of how good Algeria is. And I think he's under John David Jackson, he's becoming a better fighter. He certainly looked very good against Amir Khan. Just in the point that, you know, do you ask yourself, is Amir Khan at his peak? Or is he at the top? Or is he coming off the peak? So I don't know where you kind of mark Algeria. Then you look at the fight before he joined John David Jackson, and he got dropped 5-6 times by Pacquiao, and that crazy trainer in his corner. I'd love to find out where that trainer is, actually. He's pretty funny. So, late show, you're probably wondering why I've called this late show. Well, there are a few things I want to talk about, but they're not much. First and foremost, before I say anything, let me see if anyone's got anything pressing to say first before I go on. Hi, Ingram, just tuning in. What do you think? Who do you think was the best cruiserweight Britain has produced, and how do you think Carl Thompson would have done against Holyfield? Best cruiserweight. You've got Johnny Nelson. You've got Glenn McCrory. You've got David Haye and Carl Thompson. Terry Dunstan. Well, to answer your first question, I think that Carl Thompson was a warrior. I never thought the cat had great boxing skill. What he made up for is a great chin, ability to take a whole load of punishment, and to come from the brink and knock you out. So Thompson always has a fighting chance against someone like Holyfield, but Holyfield was just of a different league and a different quality altogether. Even David Haye is best. David Haye is best was no match for Evander Holyfield. Johnny Nelson, I think, may have boxed, and you know, Holyfield doesn't do well with guys who move and box. So you've seen it with Chris Bird, with Southpaw. You saw it with, you know, Larry Donald. Anyone who kind of sticks and moves and doesn't come and bring a fight to Holyfield doesn't make him look great. So I'd have given Nelson half a chance. I'd have given him probably a better chance than Thompson. Greatest cruiserweight, if you're looking at records, you've got to see Johnny Nelson is the greatest cruiserweight Britain's produced in terms of records. David Haye was never undisputed. He was always a unified champion to me. He never beat the man, which was Steve Cunningham, so he was unified. Carl Thompson, you know, he won fights that people didn't think he should have won. His 2 fights against Chris Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank Sr. were great fights. So, you know, interesting. Yes, Jack Corley, how we doing? Johnny Nelson, the gold. Marky B says, in the place to be. Big up your chest, Ingram. Indeed. Andy Wilkinson, I would say some fans were wrong to jump on your thoughts on Colwell. Some might not agree, but you were given an educated opinion. I know, and some fans, this is something I do want to talk about, and I will not be doing a lot of talking tonight. That's as much as I will say. I will not be doing a lot of talking tonight. When I spend a bit of time away from boxing, anybody who does spend time boxing, I think what can happen is that you get time to reflect. And if you do, you get time to think, how can I do this better? How can I do that better? And you also get time to kind of be in sort of a real world, almost, if you get what I mean, like away from just boxing, and do the day-to-day things. So when you get back into boxing, you can get very tired of people that can become very picky or fussy or just being nasty or disrespectful, or people who just misconstrue what you say. Now, I've met Dave Colwell in person. I've got no beef with Dave Colwell. I just think in terms of David Price's career and the point of his career now, it wasn't the time for experimenting. David Price needs somebody who was proven at the highest level to be training him. That is what I was saying. I was not saying David Colwell wasn't a great trainer or he wasn't a good trainer. I was saying that in terms of where Price is right now, having had one comeback, two comebacks, well, this is comeback number 3, yeah, or number 4, whichever one, they're all devastating defeats. And you know, there's only so much a man can come back and find the will to come back. Experimenting, is this a time to experiment with trainers, or is this the time to say, you know what, I've got to find this type trainer that's spot on for me? And I just think, with the knowledge I've had and the conversation I've had behind closed doors with other people that have been close to David Price at his training camps, that is what I'm saying, and that's what I was saying. So it's never disrespectful to Dave Colwell, but I don't expect people that tune in and watch my videos, they have their own opinions of me, regardless even what I say. And some people in this boxing world are quite happy to pardon the French, shit stir and take your name through the mud. I've had all sorts of people say all sorts of things about me. Even people today that watch my videos and comment are the same people who maybe 6 months or a year ago would have told me Bayloric TV is crap, Bayloric TV is this, Bayloric TV is that. But yet they'll be the same ones that will view my videos in silence and say nothing, and watch my videos and then comment and watch the videos. And so I don't pay any mind. As far as I'm concerned, these are my opinions, and I never knew that there was a golden rule anywhere that says that Ingram Jones has to make comments that are agreeable to the fans, or make comments that make him popular with the fans. Being popular is a bonus, but speaking the truth is first and foremost. Speaking the truth is first and foremost, or your own truth and your own opinion. I could sit here and regurgitate what 4 or 5 other people say, and there are other people that do that. Or there are some people who don't have an opinion of their own, or there are other people who are well known who do have an opinion but are too scared to have an opinion on the face of a camera, because they're scared of what the repercussions. They're scared of attending press conferences. They're scared of not getting a press pass. They're scared of this or too scared of that. So I don't know how much Dave Colwell can do for David Price at this point in his career. If you look at the way he got laid out by Tepper, you know, Adam Booth, I would have thought would have been a better fit for David Price, because of the whole psychology and, you know, way Booth is. Even Virgil Hunter, in the terms of, you know, psychologically talking to Price, and, you know, those are two well, Virgil Hunter's a camp where if you get beaten up or knocked out, or you're on the sidelines, Virgil Hunter will give you a cuddle, whisper sweet nothings in your ear, and kind of get you back on the road again. Ask Amir Khan, ask Andre Berto, ask what's the other guy? The guy that I can't remember, Anguello. Ask those guys. So I'm not saying things that I didn't say anything. I didn't say, oh, you know, Dave Colway is a shit trainer. I didn't say that. I said Dave Colway is a good trainer, and I said it at the beginning. But of course, some boxing fans, they don't listen. Some of them don't have two brain cells to put together, and that's just where it is. So to be honest, I just think that's just the way it is, and at least I'll leave it as that. And I will also say this as well. Peter Fury made a comment about how he didn't feel that Joshua was ready for Charles Martin, and reuttered the statements I made about Charles Martin. But I don't see many people going at the moment and saying to Peter Fury, "Oh, Peter, you're wrong." Reason why is Peter will turn straight for what it is. I'm straight talking. I'll tell you how I feel. I'm not going to lie to you and say this today and then say that tomorrow. I'll say it as it is. So I just spoke up and said it is. PSP has arrived. I've arrived. LOL. So Andy Wilkinson says, so many are too sensitive to a little criticism. Colwell is a good trainer, but I doubt he can do anything with Price. And I think that's more to do with Price than Colwell. Agreed. Andy Wilkinson says, if Pete had been in the corner that night, Tyson would have done a demolition job on him just through his basic boxing skills. The boxing gob says, did anyone see Charles Martin on Sky with those gold tooth grills looking like a wannabe rapper? He's from stateside. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a moment. The Boxing Insight says, I don't know if Colwell is the right choice for Price, but I hope they prove everybody wrong. Colwell is a likable trainer and personal in general, same as Price. Hope they can get something going. See, that's the thing. To get something going is the we want something. I want something. Me personally want something definitive. This guy, listen. This is your last chance saloon. So if it was my last chance saloon, if this is the last chance for me to really establish myself as a world name, then I want to give myself the best opportunity. And if I look in world boxing, is Dave Colwell the best person possible to give me the best opportunity to become world heavyweight champion? And that is my point. Are we going to go 4 or 5 fights under the Dave Colwell route? As you know, Price ain't going to come back and fight the top guys. 4 or 5 guys on fights under Colwell, where it could be under a more experienced trainer, a more seasoned trainer, a trainer that's probably got better eyes. You know, I'm not disrespecting Colwell. I'm just saying, you know, you couldn't put Colwell in the same room as Tommy Brooks. You couldn't put Colwell in the same room as I don't know, James Ali Bashir. This is what I'm trying to say, and that was all my point was. But of course, there are boxing fans who just hear what they want to hear and say, I said I didn't think Dave Cole was the greatest fix or the right fix for Price at this point in his career. If he started his career with Dave Cole, well, okay, fine. You know, even if it was after the first loss to Tony Thompson, okay, fine. But now, no. And that's what I'm saying. Andy Wilkins says, yeah, a lot of these Yank fighters all do the wannabe gangster thing. It's funny to motivate, but get the casual fan fighting interested as they look at these guys like it's a street fight. Ha ha. The Boxing Insight says Price versus Chisora is the fight to make. Well, Chisora's fight Pulev. So yes. There was another point I wanted to talk about tonight. So we addressed the Coldwell thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I cleared that up because I said it to Coldwell, and I would tell him to his face, and I would email him and talk to him over the phone about it. There's a lot of people in boxing that are downright just you can't be trusted. So that's what it is. I'm just saying it as it is. It's, you know, I've always known Dave Colwell as the assistant, or Dave Colwell as the guy that comes in and helps out. Yes, he's done things with Tony Bellew, and I'm not disrespecting Tony Bellew, but I still think, again, if Tony Bellew was with a more established trainer, I think Tony Bellew would be an even better fighter, because I think Tony Bellew's got all the attributes to be a world champion. I do really do. I think he's got a good jab. I think he's got a good boxing fundamentals. I think his chin is decent. You know, I think he's got a good engine. I just think that he could be polished up more. That's what I think. I think Coldwell, Gavin McDonald, I think that might be a good mix there. Now that might be, I'm looking at that. Looks good. That looks good. I can see that there quite well. So I just said, however, Bellew has won all his fights with him, and I just mentioned that point about Bellew. Jeff Corley says it's not like Price can pick whoever he likes. Top coaches cost top money. Caldwell seems to be like a good mental coach where Price needs to be. Look, Price is a former bronze medalist in the Olympics, and I think that Price does have some ring to his name. So and it's heavyweight boxing. So I would I'm not so sure about that point. Because I can tell you now, but James Ali Bashir will take Price tomorrow. I can tell you that. So there's a point there. PSB Sports says maybe experience around Hay could help him to be a good heavyweight trainer potentially. Maybe. Jack Corley says he got McDonald 2 massive wins in America. McDonald's a good fighter anyway. But yes, I understand the point. Price needs mental help with a psychologist. I said this before the rematch of the Tony Thompson fight. I told him to leave Liverpool. I'd say I'm not going to do too much talking tonight, so I'm just going to go through this. He can come again. Boxing Club says David Price needs to ditch the shoulder roll he does. I don't think he has to ditch the shoulder roll. I think he needs to, if he's going to follow a trainer, follow what a trainer says to the T. I'd take Bashir for Price. Then why the hell is he not going there? There's my point. As I said before, Price didn't want to go to Canada with Lennox Lewis. He didn't want to leave Liverpool. So that's the problem right there. So he left Liverpool with I don't know if he's got a young family. I don't know the ins and outs of that. But if you're a boxer and a fighter, you're going to become world heavyweight champion, then there needs to be a certain amount of sacrifice. And like I said before, if Price got with Bashir Shields, I'd be interested. And that's my point. That is what my point is. It's going to end in tears. So, I'd rather end in tears and him giving it a real good goal with a good team about him. But I don't know. I'm sure Dave Cole would want to prove me wrong in this. And who am I? But that's just my point on that. And the other thing about David Price, for all his career he's had, his jab is terrible. He's got a terrible left jab. So, he needs to work on his jab. He needs to have a thumping left jab. So, he needs to work on it to get his jab. Sad to say, part of Price's downfall is his own fault. And yeah, I do believe. I also believe, I do question Price's decisions. But the people, not only Price, but if you listen to Box Nation, go back and listen to when Price got beat by Thompson. Steve Bunce said it was a fluke punch, which I heavily criticized and said that Thompson threw a good punch and Thompson will do it again. And, I got criticized for that and Thompson did it again. But there you go. Price and Bellew clean up the heavyweight and cruiserweight with the ATG, the all-time great trainer Caldwell. He has forgotten more about boxing than us mere mortals could ever know. Right. Okay. I said I wasn't going to do too much talking tonight. Is there anything that anybody particularly wants to talk about tonight? Any topics or any questions you want to ask before I, not before I close the show off, but before I reveal my handle on a few things? I'll just wait a second because of the delay and then people can answer. Frampton Quigg. Yeah, of course. That's a big one. I think we'll do a build up to Frampton Quigg as well for that. I think, yeah. Fire away, Frampton Quigg. While you're firing away, I'm just going to be doing something in the background very quickly. Algeria, Spence, good fight. It'll be interesting to see. Joe Gallagher actually is tonight in Ireland. He's in Sligo. He's about 15 minutes from me, 15, 20 minutes from me. If I'd known, I'd gone and met the guy tonight. But Joe Gallagher by submission. I tell you, Joe Gallagher's knowledge, I just think his knowledge in British boxing is going to be key in this fight. I really do. I don't know what it is that You know, I lean towards Joe Gallagher's setup for this fight. I don't know what it is. Glowacki Cunningham. Are we talking Cunningham? Are we talking about Steve Cunningham here for the WBO Cruiserweight title? Is it the real Steve Cunningham here, or is it another Cunningham? Somebody please let me in on that, because I don't know. Why does Quigg and his team now think he's a knockout artist? I can see him getting beat heavily on points because he's looking for the KO. Yeah, Steve, moving back down. Oh, wow. Good for Steve Cunningham. Good for him. Good for him. And, I don't know if he... See, the only thing is, Steve Cunningham moving back down to cruiserweight. When Eddie Chambers moved from heavyweight back down to cruiserweight, he wasn't the same fighter. And I don't know at Steve's age if you can move back down and still be the same effective fighter and have the same punch resistance. It's a dangerous fight for Steve Cunningham, especially about this Glowacki can punch. And Steve Cunningham looks solid as a heavyweight. Not a fight that, personally, I'm going Glowacki in this one. I don't like the idea of Cunningham coming straight down from heavyweight down to cruiserweight. My concern is punch resistance. My concern is also I don't know where he's a top-rated fighter, so it's obviously somebody that Peter Fury has a lot of respect for. Top 10 guy apparently. Well, anyway, I know of one fight it probably won't be. Difference is Chambers was never a cruiserweight. That's true. That's a good point, Andy. But I also am concerned that, you know, moving down in weight and taking that poundage down. You know, how long has Steve Cunningham been a heavyweight now? Been a few years. Why is Chisora taking little money to get beat up by Pulev in Bulgaria, then getting big money to fight AJ? I think Steven. I have reason to believe it's not Steven. Unless I have reason to believe it's not Steven. I've got good reason to believe it's not Steven, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to do any more talking, so I'll tell you why I'm not going to do any talking. You see, the thing is, boxing fans, I really appreciate you a lot. I appreciate when you come into these rooms and come into the room and we chat and we share. Sometimes we get emotional about things. It's never any bad will. I've never ever been one to have any bad mind or bad feeling towards people or anything like that. It's not like that. You get emotional. Sometimes things are said in the heat of the moment, but I want to let you know that I don't feel any way towards anybody. Nobody. I've got no grudge against anybody in the sport of boxing. I want to make that quite clear. So, that being said, anybody want to tell me the latest news today? Latest boxing news today. Anybody got any latest boxing news? Gennady Golovkin had a press conference today, I believe. Hold on a second. Where are we now? Hold on a second. Koto versus Provoknikan. Koto. I don't know, man. Interesting. I don't AJ Martin press conference tomorrow. Okay. Wow. Excited. Over the moon. Can't wait. Anything else? Any other news? What's the latest news you guys have got? The absolute latest news. See, pretty quiet. Yeah, nothing new at the moment. Pacquiao and the gays. Okay, right. See, I always like to say thank you to boxing fans because, you know, I appreciate the boxing fans. So, as a little thank you, 16 people are watching and 16 people are going to get a little present from me. There's present number 1. Click on the link. Somebody click on the link and tell me what they see, if they see anything. Anyone see that? Can you see the link? It's in the comment section. Click on the link and tell me what you see. Thank you very much. So that's the first one for you. It's only for those people who can see it. Can you see it? Good. Good. That was done about half an hour ago. That was done half an hour ago, straight after the press conference. Can you see it? Good. Great. But I got something else for you as well. If you're a David Price fan, then good. Let's see what else. Let's see what else I can pull out the little hat for you tonight. See what else we can do for the boxing fans tonight. Got to look after the boxing fans. See what we've got now. So that's the very latest thoughts from Abel Sanchez. Very latest. And you're getting it before it becomes public. And where are we? Where's right now? For those people that were, let's have a look at this. See, people want to talk about David Price. You know where David Price is and things are. How about this? How about you ever listen to? How about this? Tell me what you see there. What do I think of Wade? You can just about put two punches together. He should not be in the same ring as Gennady Golovkin. I'm sorry. What do you see there? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Danny the retard. Great. I've got one more before, but that one I've just finished editing together. It is Bermain Stavern talking about his thoughts on Anthony Joshua versus Martin. His ranking with the WBC. He's ranked number 3. Interesting stuff that's going to be happening. I won't share that. I won't share any more information about that. And that's why I probably could clarify the Bermain Stavern, if he is fighting Hughie Fury, if he's going to fight Hughie Fury, it'll be very interesting if he is, because all I can say to you at this minute in time is he's heading to Vegas on Friday. So that's as much as I know of that. And I have an interview. If you want to make post your interview in here, the links won't work on your app. That's all right, Jack. It will be. I'm not saying Fury and Stavern are fighting. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Stavern is going to LA. He said he will be fighting between March and April. That's what he said. So I don't know. But if you see, depends where Fury's in the rankings, because I'll put the video up. I'll put the video up. So what I'm gonna do is edit that video and put it up. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is leave you guys to watch the first 2 interviews, and then I'm gonna leave the Bermain, and then I'll put the Bermain Stavern interview up straight afterwards. So by the time these 2 interviews are finished being watched, when you finish watching those 2 interviews, by the time you finish watching those 2 interviews, you will then get afterwards a Bermain Stavern interview. So you will be pretty clued up, more clued up than most of the boxing world in terms of these 3. Abel Sanchez, Tommy Brooks, and Tommy Brooks talking about David Price, talking about his insight with Charles Martin, who he worked with as an amateur. Abel Sanchez talking about the Gennady Golovkin fight with Wade, talking about Andre Ward against Barrera. He trains Barrera, and also looking into Billy Joe Saunders, what was going on there. For those people who are King Kong fans, I have some information about King Kong and the negotiations between King Kong and Bermain Stavern, what happened with that as well. So there's a lot of stuff for you guys to listen to. So I don't believe it's Stavern. I could be completely wrong, and he might be just trying to blindside me because he knows that I'm pretty onto him. But he's flying to Las Vegas. He keeps telling me he's flying to LA. He's been flying to LA for the last 3 weeks, so I don't know. So, okay, go watch those videos. I'm going to close this show off now. I said I wasn't going to talk much tonight. This is the reason why. So check those 2 videos out. I will be on now doing a Bermain Stavern interview as well. Yeah, my new site will make sure we can all talk in a chat whilst watching these vids. Love the interaction. Great stuff. So, guys, I hope that you've Ingram, you should get Peter Fury on the phone. Not seen many interviews in 2016 so far. Well, I will get it. I will get to the Furies as well. Don't worry. I'm glad. I hope you enjoy the videos. You guys are the first to watch these interviews before anybody else does. So that's my love and my respect to you guys. This is not public yet. It's just with you guys. So whoever's in the room watching this, will get to see the interview. So those interviews. Enjoy the interviews. And as I said, I'm going to get on the Bermain Stavern interview. I'll pop out as well. No worries. And sorry I've been away for so long, but internet connection issues, but it's good to be back. And I like to give you guys surprises all the time. And who knows, maybe next time I do a show like this, it may be a Hughie Fury interview, maybe a Tyson Fury interview, maybe a Peter Fury interview. It could be anybody. So tomorrow night, I've got another interview I'll be doing. I might even try and do that interview live, so you all can join in and listen to that as well. So thank you all so much. This has been Ingram Jones Bayloric TV. Check out the Twitter. Stay up. Hopefully, if you can stay up, and for Bermain Stavern, that'll be up as well. Enjoy the videos. Enjoy the interviews. And please leave your comments, not even just in the comment section, but on the Twitter feed as well. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the love. Appreciate the time. This has been England Jones from Bayloric TV, and I'm out. Take care. All the best.